Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures. This is your Desert Sky Daily for Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. And today I'm down here about 50 miles from Tombstone in the historic border town of Douglas, Arizona, which was founded in 1901. Originally, this was the smelter location for the ore that came out of the mines in Bisbee. Douglas is a town that I have been to before, but it's been a few months. And there were a couple things I missed last time that I wasn't even aware of. So today we're gonna check those out, take a little trip around Douglas, and I'm inviting you guys to come along with me. Let's go see what we can find. Our trip through Douglas today begins at this park here. It's a fine day. They have a nice fountain over there, but not a lot of people around today. According to the sign, this is Raul H. Castro Park in Douglas. I wasn't aware of this on my first trip to Douglas several months ago, but Douglas is one of the few places in the world where there is a block with a historic church on all four corners of that block. At least it used to be. Unfortunately, back in May, somebody came and burnt two of them down. Historic buildings, over 100 years old, lost forever. We're gonna go take a look at them, or at least what's left of them. Douglas being founded in the early 1900s, when a lot of the structures were made of brick. I don't know for sure that all of these buildings are quite that old, but see, just about everything around here is made of brick. This is definitely one of the two churches that was destroyed by a very angry person, apparently. I had read that both of these churches were over 100 years old. I think the other one we're about to see was somewhere around 110 years old. But that there is all that remains. You can see there's another one back there in the distance. See, crews are working right now. Last I had read that they weren't sure if they were going to be reconstructed or not. Hard to fathom doing something like that. I mean, take religion out of it altogether. Just destroying anything that's over 100 years old. Two pieces of southern Arizona history, over 100 years old, burned by an arsonist. I had read online that the guy that was responsible was actually captured. They caught him on camera. In fact, I think I see a camera up here on what's left of the church. But apparently it wasn't too hard to figure out. They saw his car, went to his house, found his car, found the clothes he was wearing at the time, and he's now facing 25 years. I believe those were federal charges in prison. This unfortunate incident happened last May, and that was when I actually found out about the historic churches here, the four corners here in Douglas. And I was a little disappointed I never got to see it when it was still in one piece. Across the intersection from the historic Gadsden Hotel, on the corner of 11th and G Avenue, this is the Last Supper Museum. Last Supper Museum is a donation-only museum. 501c3 charity. What's your raffle all about?
The raffle is we have mother of pearl Last Supper. It's kind of like this one. So I just picked one out and got raffle tickets donated to us by a couple of our sponsors. So we're raffling the raffle tickets off at $5 a piece, and since we have no cost to it, 100% of the money is going to go to the churches. You know, and that's a hard sell for them. One of the churches started a GoFundMe page.
And you're talking about the ones that got burnt, right? Okay.
And one of them started a GoFundMe page, and it stalled out at like $2,000 like 2 months ago.
Huh.
So we're just trying to, again, Douglas is a hard sell. We're trying to figure out with all the cool stuff down here that you've been getting to know more.
That's really cool.
How can we get 10 people to come down on a weekend?
So for people who didn't see our last video, tell us what the Last Supper Museum is all about.
Last Supper Museum is about art and history and mystery. It's 100 years of collecting Last Suppers from all over the world and made out of everything. And we're using it to bring people to Douglas. It's like our gift to Douglas, so they could see how cool Douglas is. You could walk to the Gadsden Hotel. You could walk to Art Car World, which has been on CBS, or I'm sorry, PBS and National Geographic. It's probably been on CBS. And walk into Mexico and have all these mom and pop restaurants and more historic buildings on this street than there are in Bisbee.
Yeah.
So we're really using it for that and use it for community engagement. We're trying to get more musical instruments and art supplies and mentors to teach the kids down here and work on these neglected buildings.
Yeah.
You know, like when we bought this building, it didn't have floors, ceilings, roof, plumbing, electrical's messed up. It's not hooked up to the city properly. So just trying to get people to enjoy even the fact that we're the safest city of this population in the state, and also the best weather. So it's 120 degrees in Phoenix. It's like barely 100 here.
Yeah.
And at night or in the early evenings, it cools down immediately because it's not a big heat island. So that's a real special thing that we're trying to show, and something that a buddy of yours, John Donahue, and I came up with is that if you go into Benson and see what they have there, and go to Tombstone and Bisbee, and then come to Douglas and maybe our Prieta and see everything around, whether it be Whitewater Draw or Portal or Chiricahuas or Wilcox or Ramsey Canyon, and make it a whole week here. It's cheaper by the day to do everything here and eat than it is to buy one ticket to Disneyland for the day.
Oh yeah.
So you could come here, the land of legends, and see all this crazy stuff, beautiful weather, interesting museums, all kinds of artists, tremendous Mexican culture, and learn how safe Mexico actually is. That's really what the Last Supper Museum is, a fun surprise for travelers, and people have been coming down from around the state because of the magazine and newspaper articles, and they come down here to enjoy it. And then there's all these other surprises. So the Last Supper Museum is really like a mission to revitalize Douglas and bring interest down here. When the streets are full in Bisbee and Tombstone and people can't walk down the sidewalk without excuse me, you know, we're trying to get, as funny as it sounds, 10 to 20 people a day to come experience the heart of Douglas, go to the Gadsden, the Wall of Faces Military Museum, Art Car World, the Last Supper Museum, and our Prieta, which you can take the tour of our Prieta, which is really nice.
Very cool. And how many pieces of art do you have in this museum?
We have 550 about on display today.
Okay.
And we have about 2,000 more in the vault. What's kind of funny is we're getting more and more stuff like this. So someone, local artist, makes this, and it's very heavy light beams coming down.
Yeah.
Jose Rodriguez is his artist name. And then they all have sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And then just in the mail, something like this comes in. Just for someone. Well, this just comes in the mail, very Southwestern. And the woman that made it said, hey, here they are young, here they are at the Last Supper, here's Judas with the X on his head and stuff. Then she wrote a funny note on the back. If this is inappropriate, please discard, which is really funny. And then also sent a nice check with that.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
As we go around here, kind of run over here, we have more of this happening from little kids submitting Last Suppers
Yeah.
that they're just drawing and bringing in, to things like this from Resilient Health, which is a very interesting piece made by an artist at Resilient Health, which has helped people with some mental disabilities, help them work through society and art and a job and all those kinds of things. And he made this, an artist named Curtis, and he calls it Jammin' Jesus and His Irreverent Apostles. And that if he was going to find out he was going to die the next day and his friends were there, this is what they would have did. I guess have a bunch of cocktails. But he made this all by hand, on little pieces of wood and popsicles. Even the glasses or the little chalices, he even made those. Then right above it is an artist, Steve Helfrich, who has the very interesting art building over here on F and 13th that he's redoing. It's nice to visit. You should go visit that. Did that nice digital art. And then even this was brought up from a home in AP, Agua Prieta, Sonora. Luis Gutierrez donated this with his family, and he even signed it, Luis Apson, which is AP Sonora. And so a little over, I guess about every 3 weeks or so, a local artist is bringing the Last Supper in.
So out of all this stuff, do you have one that is your favorite?
I mean, right now, just the one people are taking the most pictures of is something we worked on together for a year, the Kachinas.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And each one of these is a different artist, Four Corners artist, each Kachina.
Right.
Each basket is a different Mexican indigenous or Mexican Indian woman, and these are all made out of pine needles.
Wow.
If you smell that, it smells like a forest.
Yeah.
And the table was made by a different person. This texturing here was done by a different person. The sunset was painted by a different person. The little plants and little accents in here were done by a different person. This framing and table. So over the course of the year and consulting with the right people to make sure there's no offense cross-culturally, more than 31 people worked on that.
Wow. I know those kachinas are all handmade and they take a very long time to make just one, from what I've heard. Awesome.
Actually, a wonderful place in Tombstone that gave us a lot of ideas and showed us a lot of things, and we actually got a couple of these kachinas from is Arlene's, right there in downtown Tombstone, which is almost like a museum in itself.
Yeah, very familiar with them.
Where
Yep.
everything's for sale.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for letting us take a look around today.
No, thank you.
We'll be back again for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. One of the most iconic landmarks in all of Douglas is the Gadsden Hotel, which I'm gonna head over to right now. And I have a contact person over there who might be able to give us a tour of this historic building. Maybe not today, but if not, we'll come back. I forgot what year this hotel was built, but I want to say like 1901 or something like that. And you'll see this lobby in here is amazing. It's all marble. You can find pictures online of when this thing burned down, but the marble, because it's marble, of course, didn't burn, so they built everything back up around it. How you doing? Thank you.
You bitch.
Let's see, Gadsden Hotel, a historic site. Some old newspaper articles about the Gadsden Hotel. Just check out this lobby. Now that is a marble staircase. Imagine what it would cost to do this today. you doing? Is Tanya here today?
Yes, she is. She's in the restaurant right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's her daughter's birthday.
Oh, okay. She'll probably be busy today then, huh? Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
This Gadsden Museum back here. Picture of a hotel from back in the day. So according to this newspaper article, this hotel was built in 1907. And the fire happened in 29. And mostly rebuilt. To what it looks like today. Some of the famous people that have stayed here. Pancho Villa. Eleanor Roosevelt. Oh, look at that. John Wayne and Ava Gardner stayed here at one point in time. Try to get the best shot I can through the reflection, but there's the old, not sure what you would call this, the telephone screener. And a record of calls made. These are all the war veterans that came from Douglas. We also have a Purple Heart room in here dedicated to all those that were wounded in battle. Just look at this lobby. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to come back another day to get a tour of this historic hotel, but next time I'm gonna call ahead, so we'll have it planned out. And out of all the things in Douglas, I'd really like to see the Gadsden Hotel the most. There's supposed to be an old speakeasy in there from back in the day, and I do have an invite to tour it. I just didn't set it up before I came out here, and I had a feeling trying to do on the fly wasn't gonna happen, so no worries. We'll come back again and check out plenty more to see and do here in historic Douglas, Arizona. So a lot of brickwork. See, this one is the Brophy building. Looks to be abandoned today. There's a storefront for sale there. Looks like this whole building is possibly available. think Denise Machado has been here for quite some time. But that's going to be about it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you all. So, from downtown Douglas, Arizona, until next time, until the next video, see you down the road.